Recreation Commission meeting on Tuesday, February 25th. We have 6 members present and a quorum, so we will call the meeting to order. First item of business is consideration of minutes from the last meeting back on the 11th. Are there any edits or comments on the minutes? Can I get a motion to approve?
I'll motion to approve the meeting minutes from the last meeting. I'll second it.
Okay, any further discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Abstentions? 402. Minutes are accepted. Next, moving to public input. There are no members of the public present this evening, so we will open and close the public input. Next, moving on to facility and field requests, and there were a couple in there. One, let me see, just pull these up.
One to me today, Josh.
There was one last week too, just questioning the schedule for Friday basketball.
Yeah, it looked open. when I
Yeah.
checked.
Yeah, I think so too.
One for Josh Smith, is that in regards to baseball, giving them some time?
No, it was basketball.
Basketball.
Yeah, and even that, like, so for the organizations in town that are already processed, he filled out that whole form. He doesn't need to fill out that whole form. He just needs a request, send that request to like Andy or the group to our email address saying, if town is open that morning, can I get on? They don't have to go through that whole request form and everything, just for future reference. If it's open, usually Andy will just assign it, or Colleen will assign it, whoever gets to it first.
So we can go ahead and tell them it's open and they're free use.
Yeah, we should just say, maybe just re-forward and ask Andy to book.
Okay.
Andy to book it.
His email is asking about softball.
Right.
The schedule for softball.
Right.
Yeah, it says that
So if it's open, which I think it should be, yeah.
basketball's in there. But
Yeah.
this
Yeah,
is
but
all
basketball's all done. Well, this is usually basketball's last week.
last week. Yeah.
Well, actually, let me rephrase that. Rec basketball probably ended last week. Travel basketball goes, but it won't go that late either. So it'll be done.
So that was just a recurring.
Yeah, Andy just put it in there. So, we should just ask Andy to clean up March and schedule them in for that day.
Was that something you could do too? Possibly, I can take a look. I know I can publish the,
If you have access to the calendar, then yeah, Andy and I know Andy and Colleen did, and they were the ones who were mainly doing it. But if you got access to it, or do you have access? No. If you got access to it during the whole web
I might
trade, then
I'll check when I go.
yeah,
And, remove basketball.
right.
Okay, so for the Friday request, that's all open. We're good to let them know if they're okay there.
Yeah, it'll look good in the calendar.
And then we're going to re-forward the softball request to Andy, is that?
Yeah, just Andy. Like we don't. That's something we don't really approve anymore. It's like if it's one of the approved organizations in
Yeah.
town, if it's open,
Checking.
it goes
Yep.
through. Yeah.
All right. And my internet isn't connecting at the moment, so does someone else have the other requests? I thought there was one more,
Steve Weber had an email in here
March 21st or something.
about the skills camp, just saying that the baseball filled out the
They got their
Camp in. Yeah.
for the
Okay.
camp.
All right.
That's all I saw.
Yeah, I didn't see another request. The only other thing we need to talk about is the whole Sawmill Park 5K race.
Yep. Okay, so there's nothing else for facilities. So we can go to the park 5K. So we talked about that last time and said, we don't really approve parking, like
Right.
parking lots when those come through. But we'd want them to connect if there was a.
Right. So there will be. There's. Saturday morning in the middle of May. There will be soccer games there. So, it's they can using the parking lot's fine, but it's a question of how much of the parking lots can be used, how clustered is that gonna make that in and out of that parking lot too? You know what I mean? Like, you're gonna have, there are gonna be, usually it's rec games down there Saturday mornings. So you're gonna have a wave in there at 8, a wave in there at 9, a wave in there at 10. So there's gonna be 3 waves going in and out of there for soccer. I don't know how much traffic this is going to create at that exact same time, since it starts at 9 a.m.
Right.
And then I don't know how much parking lot they're intending of using. Like, is it the top half? Like, the top half would be fine.
Yeah.
Is it all of it? You know what I mean? If all of it, then you're gonna have people parking on Albuquerque.
When we looked it up last week, there's already been 300 people, like, booked to go to this.
To the race. Okay, so yeah, you mean if you're parking everyone there and they're coming over, it's
50 cars, figure,
there's only about 130, maybe 140 parking spots over there.
Right.
I mean, on its own. So, I mean, it's, during when we have that tournament in the fall for soccer, it is packed, and you're like navigating where the cars go. You know what I mean? Sometimes, like this past year, we got out, they were out in Albuquerque when you're trying not to, like, but it was just the way that the traffic flow in Nell was. But if you're taking this many cars and putting them with whatever soccer games might be there, it could get really ugly. I mean, unfortunately, we can't depend on GMS anymore. Like for soccer, we used to be able to, and it doesn't. You can't do it because it's either underwater or the field wasn't playable at all last year. It was just it just wasn't. It wasn't even enough for little kids to be on. So,
Is there a chance maybe you could, we could talk to them about doing Campbell High School instead of Sawmill for parking? I know Sawmill's so much closer, and I'm not sure if they're running a shuttle bus. Were they planning on
I
that,
don't.
or-
You mean I have no idea. I don't know if it said hold on. Doesn't say anything about shuttle. It just says you parking area for participants and spectators. It doesn't say anything about a shuttle. I mean, it's going to be. Yeah, it's a lot closer, right? You mean, so if you're, I don't know if people are walking back and forth. You know, what I mean, Town Hall is the starting point and the ending point.
Yeah.
But
Is it legal to park on Hillcrest in
Yeah.
Albuquerque? I know it's not ideal. but
Yeah.
It's not-
after that day.
it's
Hillcrest is
not on Hillcrest. You can't park on Hillcrest. It's not wide enough. You don't have any room on the sides to try and park on Hillcrest.
Well, I mean, I guess the big ask would be to see if soccer could move
We can-
their
you mean-
schedule into the later in the day.
I'll try. I mean,
See.
I can bring it up the next board meeting, but it's the next board meeting's in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So it's
No,
not.
I mean, I'm not expecting them to do it, but I mean, if they could, that would be
I
awesome.
mean,
'cause that would solve all the problems.
possibly move all the games down to, as I said, GMS, if it was open, would be fine.
Yeah.
Move them all to Innis, but
Could you even just push them later in the day and say, and again, I'm just,
Right.
I'm asking. It's not like I'm,
honestly, it'd be easier to move them than push them,
oh, okay, right.
just
Right.
because.
Yeah.
It's one of but the only thing is now when you're moving them to Innis has its own.
Yeah,
parking
those
issue.
challenges.
I mean,
yeah.
it's usually okay if it's like back-to-back older kids games where you're only rolling in 2 teams and then 2 more teams.
Yeah.
When you start rolling in those rec teams in the morning,
Multiple
you
fields
have
in use,
you have
yeah.
6 teams of little kids. Everyone's
Yeah.
usually bringing their own car.
grandparents and things like
So
that too.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's you don't want to. I mean, we try to balance off what's the parking on Brickyard Lake.
Mm-hmm.
We might. I mean,
Is the yellow house in front of the brickyard?
Yep.
It's my mom's house.
okay.
How much do you think I can get per car?
As much as you want. For those people who don't want to walk, you'd be all set.
You should, back in the day, they would just walk through our yard. Just randomly climb the fence. The out of towners, because they had like away games,
Yeah.
town games, and like people from like Pelham would just like walk through our yard.
That's so rude. Huh?
How you doing?
So the race starts and ends at Town Hall, so they're obviously
Right.
planning on having long activities in this parking lot, so they don't want to fill up with cars as well.
Yeah, I mean, let's put it this way. What after I saw this whole thing, I went onto the site to see what the path was of the race because who knows what I didn't know what it was from that. Because if it was, let's put it this way, if the path of the race was down in front of Sawmill, down Albuquerque, it would have been like you might as well just blow up whatever activities are going on at Sawmill. But it doesn't. It comes down this way towards Pinecrest, and it gets down to Greenwich, I think it is, and then loops around into like Ledgewood and comes back or something like that. So it goes the other way. So it's contained between Hillcrest and Pinecrest. But still, if you're putting all those cars at Sawmill, and I don't know if you're running a shuttle or not running a shuttle, making people walk, it's still a lot of traffic.
Try to park at Campbell and then carpool as many people as they can up there.
Well, if they're going to run a shuttle, maybe that would,
Yeah, right.
that could be fine, just moving another mile or two up the road.
Right. But I mean, I mean, I can find out. I mean, I can ask soccer too. It's not, it's just one of those, at this exact moment, we're up in the air because it's, I mean, we don't know how many teams we're having. We don't know how many, it's all, that registration doesn't end until the beginning of April. So.
Well, I know the Litchfield Town Forest has a pretty big parking lot. They could park there. All four
Park
cars.
in the forest, maybe.
Just line them up.
But I just, because I didn't, that's why when you had asked to respond, I'm like, I'm not ready to respond. I'm like, there are multiple things I think we need to discuss and just come away with. Like, and I'll go to soccer now and say, this is what it's looking like for that day. What are the possibilities of moving it or doing something? I mean, I just wanted to discuss all the options before I did anything, because I mean, if there are over 300 participants already, that's a lot of cars for that parking lot already too. I mean, you're already overflowing that parking lot, and I don't know what their intention is for this parking lot that same day. I mean, I don't know how much of it's going to be staging, how much of it they're going to let parking happen or anything like that. So.
Yeah.
But I think having the clear plan will be helpful, because having designated parking is going to be necessary to stop people from just parking right outside here.
Oh, right. Parking in
Birchland,
front of my
street
across,
house.
yeah, I mean,
Across the road.
up and down my driveway, they'll be fine. Charge for that too, but
Yeah, it says 370, it only says 44 responded as going, but there's a total of 329 people that are interested. So what does that mean? I don't know.
that means what's the last day of registration? Because we'll wait until that day before we register.
So it could be 44 or it could be 400.
Correct. Somewhere, it's a small variance. You're all set. But yeah, I'll go back to soccer. I'll see if I can get an answer before our next meeting.
I'll talk to Robert Porter as well to see, let him know what we say. I'm sure they'll probably rush.
Mhm.
Okay. Great.
So we can work some details out.
Thank you.
It is the police and fire 5K. The police officers could do the detail that day.
There you go.
He's actually, he should be.
All right. Any further facility or field requests? Parking lot or other?
Mhm.
All right. And is there any new business? I did not see any.
Just I don't know if it's not new, so I'll wait.
All right. Old business. So I had there was an update on the playground where they were looking to start moving forward with some additions in the spring. I wanted to see if we had anything in our budget allocated for that. I can't recall if we did have anything. I know we had some carryover funds that we spent,
did.
but
Allocated money for the slide support, the pole that supports
Yeah.
the big slide.
Yep.
Prevents it from going over. That was it.
Okay, yeah.
So the bigger question is, the beautification fund or beautification people in town that do the calendar had some funds left over and they wanted to donate them to the playground commission so they could, or the playground committee so they could add some benches
Oh, good.
around there. So I sent out a couple of bench, options today.
Okay, great.
If you want to take a look at those and start thinking about, I don't know if it's something that we would have to vote on for a bench or if it's leave it up to their discretion or what, but I just want to bring it to you guys first.
Great.
I mean, they're going to be nice benches, it's just a matter of if you want a particular style or. Yeah, that's right. Or movable.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, movable seems to be the key part.
Our other questions about power washing and cleaning and stuff.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, could be a voluntary thing. I have a power washer, I don't let that if they want to use it, but I probably there's funds in that as well to hire a crew.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They understand that.
Right.
More, it was a bigger thing like getting access to the water. But Andy said there's a way to hook up to the surplus system out there, so
Yeah, there's a spigot in the ground. Yeah.
that was like, I can't run 200 feet
Yeah.
of
Okay, so you're good with them as far as closing the loop on?
Yeah, I just, does anybody, do we have to vote on the benches, or is that kind of, how do people feel about that?
I don't think we need to vote to approve. It's not our, it's, the
If it's
money's
like,
not coming to
well,
us.
yeah, what, if it's not our funds and they're not, do we need, what do we vote on? We've given them, we've already given permission to install and everything, so.
So the beautification is covering the benches, okay. Who's holding the beautification funds? Is it in the revolving fund or is that's the beautification fund?
Yeah.
So I do believe that something needs to be allocated.
I don't think it's part of the town, it's private beautification funds, correct? It was profits from the calendar, I don't know.
Yeah, but I think that gets turned into the town, doesn't it? I'm not sure. I don't know the nuts and bolts of it, honestly.
I'll talk to Jason.
Yeah.
He's listening to Jake one day. Yeah, I'm not sure where that actually, how it stands. I know it's a completely separate fund, but I don't think it's happening right now.
Well, we have, I mean, unless Jason went out and created his own fund, we have a beautification fund here that the town established and they're putting money into it.
Mhm.
So therefore the town, depending on what they're spending, I mean, we have to vote on stuff, but if it's not, how much are these benches going to end up costing? Do you know?
It's like $1,500.
Yeah, we're going to have to, vote on it, but
Wait, this body? We don't control the beautification fund, right?
Right.
Yeah, we do. Well, we don't, but yeah, the town controls the
Town,
beautification fund, yeah.
So the one you're asking is Jay should make sure there's money in that beautification fund.
Yep.
And then we'll go on to the.
Yep.
playground plate.
Yes, and then the selectmen will probably take care of it. I mean, you guys, I don't understand. Not that I don't understand, but I just don't know the chain of how this needs to happen. I mean, it's a fund that I've never had to worry about. So it's, but I'm sure tomorrow, I'll ask Karen White tomorrow and find out what exactly has to happen. I'll let you guys know. Matter of fact, I'll CC you on the email now.
All right, so Kurt will find that out for us. Otherwise, no further action needed from us. Moving on to next, town report is due. So I haven't heard from Andy about that. I know there was some language shopped around pretty much like last year. So has anybody heard from Andy recently? 'Cause,
Besides that email? No.
okay. I mean, the town is up against it to put something in. So at this
Right.
point,
Yeah, there has to be a write-up. I mean, last year, I think we dedicated it to John.
John, yep.
Yeah, somebody has to do a write-up. And does anybody know if Andy's got it under control or we don't know?
He didn't answer that. Do we know who has the copy of it from last year?
So Colleen reached out
Colleen,
to
yeah.
Keith. Thank you. Right, and sorry, I can't see the email chain. But I thought there was language shopped around.
It was from like 3 years ago.
Right, yeah. Keith didn't do it last year. I thought, for some reason, I thought Colleen had done it, but maybe Andy did it last year. I can't remember off the top of my head. Let me see if I can find, maybe I can find it. Yeah, there was some, so last year, who gave it to her? I did receive recreation. I don't know who gave, I don't know, she doesn't say who got it to her. Oh no, Keith did write it. Keith wrote it last year. So Keith would have a copy of it.
Okay.
So that's what Colleen was reaching out to Keith?
Yep.
Okay, so.
We have language.
She needs to back in the loop, she said.
I mean, I'm happy to try and find that copy or just like recycle last year's with a fresh polish. If I can shop around you guys by Thursday.
I don't think, I have a feeling most of it should just be copy and paste.
Right.
Which is why getting the old one would be,
This is,
a heck of a lot
Yeah, I
easier.
haven't even seen the old one, so.
is it in
I
our
don't know what it's supposed to look like.
Google Docs at all? Anybody? I can't.
I don't think it's there.
Yeah, I'm looking for it right now and I can't not see
I
anything.
mean, I can just go into the actual town report from last year and cut and paste that. So. Where's that at?
Oh, here we go. No, I don't see it.
Yeah, I don't see it either.
I guess you could just pull it off of the town report.
Yep.
Uh,
Plan B, I think.
Yeah.
All right, so I'll email one more reminder to Andy and Colleen and Keith and see if there's anything in
Right.
language. Otherwise, Plan B, I will just strip off last year's thing, change anything that's.
I mean, would Donna have a copy of it from last year?
Probably, yeah. Since she writes it every year.
I mean, I guess we could ask her, do you have a copy of what was submitted last year, like in Word format or whatever? And see
I'll
what
ask her. I'll
happens.
do it up right now. Put you guys on this too.
Thank you, Kurt.
Mhm.
All right, so Kurt, reach out to Donna. I'll just recycle that email that went out to everybody.
Right.
As a final touch on that. Otherwise, we'll just use last year's for the most part.
We can use last year's minus, because Sandy wrote up a part for John.
Yeah.
Was the part, so minus that part. Sure. Yeah, I think we should be good.
I think the only thing major this year is we updated the bylaws, right? For the first half of the year, so maybe I'll make note of that. Otherwise. Addition of new members.
See, I have no idea I haven't read it before, so I
All right.
can't tell you what's in it.
All right, well, those would be maybe the two things I would add in.
Right.
All right.
All right, we're going to town report then. All right, any other old business I neglected to put in?
Last week, I mentioned about reappointment of positions, chair, vice chair, etc.
Yep.
And we weren't sure when we actually did that, and we received notification that we did it sometime in June.
Right.
So is there a certain time frame that's supposed to occur?
I think the new bylaws actually say when we're supposed to do it.
Yep.
Well, the updated bylaws. Yeah, I'm pretty sure in the bylaws, we wrote.
Yep.
In,
Thought it was June.
I thought it was June too.
Mhm.
Membership officers. No, first regular May meeting.
So that would be March, after town meeting? Is that what you're saying? Or
No, May.
oh, May. I'm sorry. I just said May. Huh, here we go.
Right, because we said March is when members are appointed or reappointed. We have a month
Right.
to kind of get to know each other and then vote in May.
So, yeah, first meeting in May.
All right. Speaking of members being reappointed, is anybody up for a term in March?
I am.
You are.
That's because you always are.
We were
Uh,
three.
No, it's a 3-year
We were
term.
three.
I'm two. I think,
yeah,
I
you,
think one of us is two, one of us is three.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
But you guys haven't been there for here for 2 years yet.
No.
No. This is still your.
Yeah, first year.
And you're the only full time.
Yeah.
We're both on.
3 year.
I thought it was three. Yeah.
Let me see. Nope.
All right. So you're up. You're up for reelection.
Mhm.
Let's see. Okay. But if you're reelected, you're not necessarily the appointment to this again.
I hope so.
Although we want
You
you,
never know.
so.
Yeah, you never know. As I've been told by Diane Plansky, this is the easiest committee. So
I don't know who's up this year. Andy and I were up last year, renewed.
so could it be Colleen then potentially or Keith?
It could be, but
I
Yeah,
think Colleen was up, right? 'Cause
could
she
be.
was
It,
looking at scaling back a little bit.
she was.
wasn't
Yep.
it all depends. Like I don't know, but I don't know how I don't know how the appointments are staggered because we have 6 full-time members, right? So they would be staggered. So I don't know where your full-time falls into that staggering either. I think I have a list of this. I think for some reason I thought I saved a list of this somewhere at home. I'll find it.
Sounds like a handy thing to have. We will make a list if
Make a list. Yes.
Probably have that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll see if I can find it.
Excel's a good tool.
All right. Any other business?
As soon as it's time for me to get busy on the fishing trip,
Ah, yes.
which actually, there's a guy in North that we can fish from, so I'll contact him, I'll send him an email this week to see what he stands with prices and when we should. Yeah, definitely. Usually those help on, getting prizes and.
Yeah, I'll make sure
Yeah,
I'll put it to work.
yeah, definitely. We do some help. Last time, when I talked to him last time, he suggested changing it up where instead of having just, 100 fish of the same size, do a couple small, couple medium, a couple large boys, and then have prizes for each, so you pick up the biggest one with those prizes.
Mhm.
And then when I talked to Joan about it, she mentioned just reach out to different vendors, so I'm gonna go see the people up at Cadello's and stuff like that, so we can get some prizes.
Oh, fantastic.
I think it's scheduled for second weekend in May. I'll get more details on that soon.
That day is the 5K.
I was
Yeah, I was
thinking
about
the
to
same
say,
thing.
don't
I
make
didn't
it the
wanna
same
say
day
it.
as the 5K. I'm like,
You're either a runner or a fisherman. Pick one.
The last 3 years of the fishing derby's life, they ended up putting it on the same day as opening day softball. And that killed the Shingle.
And then, that was the weekend after Memorial Day too, right?
No, they start early.
no, softball usually starts.
As soon as they possibly.
They usually start sometime in April. When they have their official opening day, can vary because
Yeah.
it can be actually like 2 or 3 weeks after, but they have the parade and everything.
I think I was thinking about sometime in May.
Don't miss that.
So the 16th is
Pay attention.
Yeah, that would be good.
no. The weekend before is like Mother's Day weekend. So
Right. Good day.
Take your mother fishing?
My wife is taking kids fishing.
Perfect.
Here you go, Mom. Happy Mother's Day. Here's some worms. Shoo shoo.
Well, thanks for working to bring that back.
Yeah.
All right. Any other business? All right. If not, going to get a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second it?
All in favor?
Uh,
We are adjourned. Thank you much.